I'm Reed, just a normal 27-year-old guy talking about building wealth and getting your life together in your 20s. What if I told you that upgrading your car, your apartment, or even your daily coffee routine could quietly cost you millions of dollars over your lifetime? Sounds dramatic, right? Well, it is something I truly believe in, and let me tell you, it is something I struggle with, a lot. And today, I wanted to break down something insidious, something called lifestyle creep, how it sneaks up on you, why it feels so normal, and how it can totally sabotage and truly ruin your long-term financial freedom. Don't be fooled. This isn't some abstract financial concept. This is your life, your future, your freedom on the line. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, we talk about building wealth intentionally and realistically. We're not about get-rich-quick schemes. We're about getting rich smart, building a life that actually serves you, not the other way around. And today, I wanted to talk about a topic that hits really close to home, a topic I struggle with personally a lot and have struggled with a lot in the past. I wanted to explain it, then give you guys some real-world examples of how I've messed up. And trust me, there are plenty, and then crucially give you real-world numbers to where I could have been if I didn't fall into this trap, if I just kept my head down and focused on the long game. So for those of you who are not aware, lifestyle creep is what happens when you start making more money, whether that is a raise, a promotion, a new job. Instead of investing that extra, that new money, you start spending more, you get nicer apartments. New clothes, you start eating out more, upgrading your phone, upgrading your car, you know the drill. And here is the kicker. It is not necessarily about just spending money. It is about letting your spending rise faster than your income can afford you. It is about your desires inflating at a rate your bank account just can't keep up with. And the worst part, the absolutely most toxic part, is that a lot of us tell ourselves we deserve it. We've worked hard, so we convince ourselves, oh, I can afford this right now, I earned this. But that mindset, my friends, that innocent-sounding justification will slowly, subtly, stealthily trade your freedom later for comfort. Now, it is a Faustian bargain you make with yourself, and you're always the one who loses. Now, I don't want you guys to get this misconstrued. I definitely 100% believe in paying yourself first. You know, if you get a new raise or you get a promotion and you want to buy yourself something nice or you want to treat yourself to a nice dinner, that is fine. I'm into watches. You know, I always tell myself when I get promoted, I'm going to buy myself a nice watch. And that is okay. One purchase is okay, a calculated reward for your hard work. But it is the slowly upgrading everything around you when you're spending, or sorry, your income, can't truly afford those realities. It is that subtle, insidious expansion of your monthly burn rate that truly kills your financial future. So I wanted to give you guys a few real-world examples. One kind of general one, and then two examples that I've personally messed up on a lot. You know, I don't make a lot of money, but let's just say for simplicity's sake, right? You make $70,000 a year. All right, that'd be awesome. I wish I made that much money. I make like $30,000 a year. But let's say I make $70,000 a year and I get a raise to $85,000. So that is a $15,000 raise. That is awesome. That is life-changing money. Well, instead of saving and investing that $15,000 difference, I'm going to decide to go buy a new car, or I'm going to go get a new couch, or I'm going to go get a more expensive apartment. I'm going to go out more, eat 3 times, eat out 3 times a week. Totally normal, right? Everyone else around you is doing it. Other people in the office are doing it, whatever it is. Just the natural progression, right? Wrong, but zoom out. Let's play a little math game. If we invest $500 a month of that raise into an index fund like VU, that returns an average 8% a year. After 10 years, we'll have $91,000. Not bad, right? After 20 years, we'll have $275,000. And after 30 years, we'll have over $680,000. That is almost $700,000 just from keeping your lifestyle the same. And investing the rest, $700,000. That is generational wealth, that is early retirement, that is peace of mind, all from resisting the urge to upgrade. Now, this is a lot easier said than done. I'm talking to myself here too. So for example, I struggled with this a lot, and I still struggle with it. You know, my thing when I was working at my full-time job was cars, right? Everyone around me loved cars. I still love cars. And I was really big into the car scene, right? So what I did was, when I got my first promotion to full-time, when I went part-time to full-time, I was driving a 2016 Hyundai Veloster, a humble, practical little car. But immediately, I wanted to get something cooler, faster, more fun. Something that would make me feel like I had arrived. So I started looking for cars. And I got a 2017 Subaru WRX. After taxes, I think I paid $26,000. I financed it for 7 years, and my monthly payment was $443. This was around 2018, right? So I felt like the cool kid on the block. I was 18 years old driving a Subaru WRX. And now, not content with that, I wanted to upgrade it, and I can't tell you the exact number right now, But if I add up the tuning, the wheels I had, the cosmetics, the carbon fiber, the bucket seats, I went full-blown with this car, right? I probably put around $12,000 into that car from start to finish. $12,000 just gone, down the drain, into a black hole of depreciating assets. So, I went on my phone, right, and I found a picture from June 27th, 2019, from when my Subaru WRX was getting tuned at a place that had it on the dyno. So if those of you who are not familiar, you put a car on the dyno, it tells you how much horsepower you're making. You get it tuned, right? Let's just say at that point I had about $10,000 invested into the Subaru WRX. June 27, 2019, VO, the ETF, closed at $276. So if I took that $10,000 and put it into VO right now, my $10,000 would be worth $20,472. Not bad. Doubling my money. But let's say I wanted to put it into Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, June 27th, 2019, closed at $11,000. If I took that $10,000 I put into Bitcoin, I'd have $95,000 right now. $95,000. That is life-changing money. That is a down payment on a house. That is freedom. And the worst part is, after I did all of that to the Subaru, I sold it with all the upgrades on it. And if for those of you who know about cars, when I sold it, I lost all my money on it completely. Because car modifications are like throwing money into a bonfire. They rarely, if ever, increase the value, but I still didn't learn my lesson. Oh no. The siren song of shiny new things was too strong. I got another raise, sold the Subaru, and what did I do? I bought a BMW 340i 2017 with the supermotor in it, the B58. That is what I wanted, the ultimate driving machine. So, not only did I lose the money on the Subaru, but I bought the BMW, I put a big turbo on it, I put on air suspension, I probably put around $15,000 into that car. But let's just use that $10,000 for simplicity's sake. So, I have a picture of my BMW from November 24th, 2020. VO closed at $328. If I put $10,000 into it, I would have $16,770. Also, Bitcoin at the time closed at $19,000. If I invested that $10,000, I would have about $55,000 right now. $55,000. Just from not upgrading my car, just from sticking to the plan. So the point I'm trying to make is, and then, to put the cherry on top, when I sold the BMW, I sold it with all the upgrades on it, lost all my money on it too. And when I'm saying I lost all my money is when I sold it for. You don't make your money back on the upgrades. All that $15,000 I put into the car, I never saw that back. That never came back into my pocket because upgrades actually devalue your car in the long run. It is like pouring money into a leaky bucket. It is just gone. Anyway, my whole point is I have messed up big time when it comes to lifestyle creep. Every single time I get a raise, I buy a new car because that is my vice, right? I don't drink, I don't go out, I just like cars, right? So every time I get paid, I buy a new car, and I really had to learn my lesson because once I started getting into this whole investing thing, I realized man, I really wasted a lot of investing potential back then. You know, when I had the BMW, that was during COVID. If I just stopped upgrading the BMW and started investing my money, I would have so much return right now. It would be insane. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I truly feel like I wasted a lot of time, a lot of financial freedom by doing that. And me and my girlfriend always talk about it. You always can look back and say, you should have done this, and I could have done this. So I don't hold myself to it, you know? I don't depress myself over it because it is almost one of those things where it is like, at the time I was having fun, you know, I had my fun with the car, I was doing what I thought was right. I didn't know much about investing. Now that I look back on it, I'm like, man, I could have invested all that money. I could have bought a beater car, and I could have invested those tens of thousands of dollars that I put into these materialistic cars. And I would have probably a $200,000 portfolio right now at 27, a $200,000 portfolio. That is massive. That is a huge head start. But I wasn't thinking about that at the time, and I can't hold myself to that. So if you guys have ever fallen into lifestyle creep, don't hold yourself against it. Don't beat yourself up now, you know? Now I look back on it, I think it is a great learning lesson. I know how to treat money now. I know what to put my money into. And once again, it was just a learning lesson. You gotta learn from it. Learn from your mistakes and just get better in the future. So my whole point is, it is still something I struggle with. I still think about, if I get a raise, maybe I can buy this car or that. The temptation is always there. But at the end of the day, you don't want to keep inflating your lifestyle. And the reason lifestyle creep is so dangerous is because it doesn't feel like a bad decision at the time. Like I just told you guys with my car when I was upgrading my cars. I felt like I was doing the right thing. I didn't think it was a bad decision. I wasn't looking at investments. I didn't know anything about investing, so I thought I was doing the right thing. Obviously, I'm not buying a yacht, but I'm slowly upgrading my car. I'm slowly upgrading my lifestyle. Maybe I'm buying a watch. Maybe I'm buying some new technology, upgrading my PC. Maybe you're doing the $5 coffee instead of making it at home because you got a raise, or, you were looking at a $500 couch and now you're going to buy a $2,000 couch, or you start adding more monthly subscriptions because you can afford it, or you start eating out more. The problem is, over time, these choices start to stack, and these expenses build upon each other to the point where you don't even realize it because it happens so organically, and it happens so naturally. It is like the frog in boiling water. You don't notice the heat until it is too late, and that is what costs you money in the long run. And over the years, the compound interest of short-term satisfaction really builds up, and it builds up against you, not for you. It is the silent killer of your financial dreams. So this is the next part, is I want to talk about kind of what I would do, right? What I plan to do now instead of lifestyle creep. And kind of like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm not telling you guys to not treat yourselves. That is not the goal here. If you watched a video previously, I said how I went, and it was me and my girlfriend's anniversary, and it was a very expensive dinner. But once again, it was a one-time thing. It was our anniversary. I felt like it was okay. When I get promoted, I do want to buy myself a nice watch, but it'll be one watch that I'll buy. My lifestyle won't change. I just want to reward myself for working hard, but once again, I'll do it smartly. It'll be in my budget. I have already started budgeting for it, so you just have to do it smartly and not let things just compound over time without you realizing it. So when it comes to spending, you just want to spend with intention. You want to be a master of your money, not a slave to your desires. And here is how I personally fight lifestyle creep. So when I get a raise, the first thing I do is I increase my investments. In my opinion, the easiest way to do this is with your 401k. So for example, when I got my last raise, which was about 6 months ago, I was contributing 6% to my 401k. I got a 4% raise. The first thing I did was I took my 6% and I bumped it up to 7%. In my 401k, it is not a lot, but at least I'm investing more now. And it is automatic. It is out of sight, out of mind. So that would be my first thing that I would do. That is what I plan to do if I get my promotion or if I get a raise from here on out, is automatically increase my investments. That is the first thing I'll do before I buy anything, before I even think about a new watch or a new car. The money goes to work for me first. Now, this one's controversial, but if you can live like you're actually living paycheck to paycheck, even if you're not, that will help you out in the long run because you'll almost automatically budget. I know not a lot of people like strict budgets. They feel restrictive. But if you can live almost like you're quote-unquote broke, and you can save that money or invest that money, it'll start to stack up a lot. It is about building a fortress around your financial future, brick by brick, dollar by dollar. Next is I treat freedom, financial freedom, like a flex. And what I mean by that is, when it comes to financial freedom, I feel like in my age group specifically, not a lot of people talk about it because a lot of people see it as something that happens in your retirement years. But the thing is, if I can be grounded and I can treat my money smart for the next 10 years,